session 16, we discussed professional correspondence, and we also discussed passive-aggressive phrases in English. In class, one of you wanted to know how to say, "Can you give me more time?" My suggestion was, don't ask permission. Tell them your time expectation. Like this: I should be able to have that completed in 3 business days. Another thing that you want to avoid in business English is not possible or impossible. It's just a negative word. So instead, you could say not feasible. I'm afraid that is not feasible at this time. However, we should be able to have that completed in 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. Notice in this example and the first example that I gave, I used have that completed. This is a special grammar structure, and the verb have is used as a causative verb. It means that you will not necessarily do it, but someone will, and you will make sure that it's done by your team or your colleagues or yourself. For example, the pipe in my bathroom was broken. I had it fixed. To have it fixed means I caused it to be fixed, but it doesn't mean that I fixed it directly. I called the plumber and the plumber fixed it. I caused that to happen. If you want to directly say that you will do it, you can say, I should be able to complete that in 3 business days. To have something completed or to complete something. You want to avoid the phrase thank you in advance unless you are trying to be passive-aggressive. Please note that with this phrase, pressure piete, there is time pressure on that person. You are basically telling them they don't have a choice. If you don't want to give pressure, if you don't want to be passive-aggressive, use this phrase. I would appreciate it very much if you could assist with this. I would be grateful if you could help with this. I would appreciate it very much. I would be very grateful. Remember, very is a baby word, so you could also use extremely grateful, exceedingly grateful, incredibly grateful, etc. You never want to ask, may I go to the toilet? This is because you are an adult, not a school child. This is also because toilet is not necessarily a good word. If you are speaking to an American or Canadian, you would say restroom. If you are speaking to a British person, you might say washroom. So here are 2 choices. Excuse me, please. Where is the restroom? Excuse me, please, while I go to the restroom. In the first question, we're asking, where is it? Especially if it's your first time to be in that place. In the second one, we're simply stating that they must wait for us because nature calls. Remember also that discuss never uses about. Discuss is a transitive verb. That means that preposition mapau before the object. However, talk is an intransitive verb. That means preposition pare before the object. For example, we need to discuss the meeting. We need to talk about the meeting. Never, never discuss about. Another passive-aggressive phrase that you might want to use in business English is, as per my last email. If someone did not pay attention to what you said in your first email, you can say, as per my last email. This is a polite way to let them know that you are annoyed that they did not pay attention the first time. For example, as per my last email, we will meet on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Just like as per my last email, if you have already sent an attachment to someone but they did not pay attention the first time, you can use this phrase, reattached for your convenience. For example, please find the minutes from last Friday's meeting reattached for your convenience. If you want to blame someone and tell them to be more careful next time, basically say, you messed up, don't do it again, a polite way to do that is to say, how can we avoid this going forward? Going forward means in the future. How can we avoid this? When you say we, it's more polite because you are including yourself in the situation. Even though it wasn't your mistake, you are putting yourself in the situation to find a solution. It's more polite and removes the pressure from the other person. If someone is taking a long time to respond, or you want to tell them, hey, hurry up, you have 2 choices. Number 1, friendly reminder. Friendly reminder is a way to passive-aggressively say, hey, I'm annoyed, you are taking too long. Friendly reminder 2 plus verb 1. Friendly reminder 2, call the customer. Friendly reminder 2, send those documents. Friendly reminder 2, file your report before 3 o'clock. Also, I'm just checking in to see if there are any updates on this. Basically, they have not responded to something that you expect them to respond to. Remember that the most passive-aggressive phrase that we use in English, especially for signing off an email, is with all due respect. With all due respect plus clause, or with all due respect, then your name. For example, sincerely Brittany, you could say with all due respect, comma, Brittany. An example of using this in a sentence is, with all due respect, I disagree. With all due respect, that wasn't what happened. Sometimes you cannot trust your colleague or your boss or someone you are working with. Maybe you have a history of them lying about something they said. If they tell you verbally that they are going to do something, follow up with the email, and in your email, restate the things that they said to you before. Start the email with this: per our conversation this morning, comma. Per our conversation this morning, you agreed to meet at 3 p.m.